We hear constantly about AI writing our emails or, generating weird pictures, right? But what happens when it actually enters your doctor's exam room? Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking one of the most immediate, life-altering shifts happening in our world right now. We are taking a deep dive into the literal life or death tension between medical AI and human oversight. We're going to look at exactly what happens when flawless machine consistency collides head-on with flawed but deeply empathetic human judgment. AI flags something that my doctor might have missed. That's a direct quote from tech journalist Joanna Stern. She actually spent a whole year letting AI into every single aspect of her life for her book, I Am Not a Robot. And look, this isn't some sci-fi hypothetical. This is a real patient, a real mammogram, and a sudden realization that an unblinking algorithm is actively altering our medical diagnoses right now. You might absolutely hate AI, or you might flat out refuse to use it on your phone. But honestly, it doesn't matter. It's already in your hospital. Section 1. The high-stakes patient. To really grasp the tension of this whole AI invasion, we've got to realize just how deeply personal it gets. Take the number 39. That is the stark, frankly terrifying percentage staring back at Joanna. She has a 39% chance of developing breast cancer. When we talk about AI in medicine, we're not just talking about making scheduling faster. We're talking about real people living with a massive looming statistical shadow over their health, desperately needing the most accurate diagnostic tools on the planet. And her situation perfectly illustrates why certain patients are the absolute perfect test case for medical AI. Joanna has dense breast tissue. That means finding tumors manually is incredibly tough. It's kind of like trying to find a snowball in a blizzard. Combine that with a remarkably strong family history. Her mother was diagnosed with breast cancer 3 times, plus 2 of her cousins. So for a high-risk patient living in the shadow of that kind of trauma, AI tools that promise to spot microscopic abnormalities the human eyes simply can't see, they aren't just a cool novelty. They're a desperately needed beacon of hope. Section 2, AI in the exam room. Let's actually step inside Mount Sinai Hospital in New York to see what happens when AI and top human doctors look at the exact same scans. It plays out in a pretty fascinating timeline. First, the Kiosis AI software analyzes the ultrasound images, and it does this incredibly fast. Almost instantly, step 2 happens. The AI flags 3 suspicious spots. But then we hit step 3, which is the absolutely crucial human element. Top radiologist Dr. Margolis reviews those exact same scans. She applies her critical human eye and actually disagrees with the AI on 2 of those areas. Finally, in step 4, only 1 spot is selected for a closer look and further testing. The machine cast a really wide net, but the human refined the catch. It's a profound juxtaposition between cold machine data and vital human context. On the mammogram side of things, the computer essentially analyzed the images and calculated less than a 1 in 25,500 chance of cancer. Statistically speaking, the machine was incredibly optimistic. But the doctor overrode that pure machine optimism. She looked at the ultrasound flags and decided to order further testing anyway. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would a doctor argue with a machine that processes millions of data points a second? Well, this quote from Dr. Margolis hits the nail on the head. In the back of my head, I'm saying she has a strong family history. The machine was looking purely at the pixels on the screen. The doctor, she was looking at the patient sitting right in front of her. That contextual awareness, the empathy and understanding of the patient's family trauma and heightened risk, that's what guided the doctor to disagree with the machine. It proves just how absolutely necessary human judgment is. Section 3, the consistency trap. Now, to understand the hidden psychological danger of relying on algorithms, we need to look at the AI people are actively inviting into their lives. Meet Evan. Evan is not a human. He's a highly customized AI companion bot that Joanna tested out. She essentially asked the AI to stop being a standard digital assistant and to become a companion. It chose the name Evan, which, weirdly enough, was the name of her high school boyfriend. She even took this AI on a real road trip to New Hampshire. Evan mimics natural speech patterns and even adds these subtle, fake breathing sounds to seem more human. The whole thing is designed to create a deeply emotional connection. Listen to how she described Evan. It never gets tired. It always pays attention. It remembers. It doesn't get bored of you. Joanna actually noted that her conversations with Evan were stronger than conversations she has with many real humans. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact parallel to the medical AI we were just talking about. The relentless, unblinking attention of an AI boyfriend is driven by the exact same underlying mechanics as the unblinking analysis of a medical AI scanning a mammogram. So here is the crucial takeaway. The danger lies in the consistency. The exact same machine consistency that's incredibly useful in serious tasks like scanning dense breast tissue for abnormalities, can also trap us. It creates a dangerous illusion of closeness and perfection. Whether it's an AI companion making you feel perfectly listened to, or a medical AI projecting total statistical certainty, we really risk blindly trusting a flawless machine over flawed but entirely necessary human judgment. It is a trap any of us could fall into when we're anxious for answers.
Section 4. Defending human judgment. We really have to view this technology as a double-edged sword. On one side, these specialized AI models, which are trained on millions of real radiology images, absolutely save lives. They catch subtle cancers that human eyes would simply miss. But on the flip side, they rely entirely on pure data. They lack human empathy. They project this illusion of infallibility that can make us dangerously complacent. And they entirely fail to contextualize complex patient anxieties and histories. They see the scan, but they just don't see the person.
Yet, despite all these very valid concerns, look at Joanna's ultimate conclusion after her high-stakes testing. I wouldn't get a mammogram or breast ultrasound now without AI looking at it. And thankfully, by the way, her follow-up tests came back totally clear. The takeaway here isn't that we should reject medical AI. It's an absolutely essential tool. Honestly, it's the version of AI that nobody is really mad about. But its value and a patient's willingness to accept it is entirely dependent on having a human doctor remaining firmly in the driver's seat.
Section 5. Who makes the final call? As Joanna details in her upcoming book, I Am Not a Robot, it really all comes down to this framework: the AI invasion versus the AI invitation. The invasion, like the AI at the hospital or your dentist's office or in the cars driving around you, that is already underway. It's unchosen, but it is highly useful. The invitation, though, like the AI companions, the chatbots, the immersive virtual relationships, that's the AI we actually get to answer. We get to choose whether we let it in. But in both arenas, whether it's forced upon us or invited in, we always retain the power to assert our humanity and demand proper oversight.
Which leaves us with one final, deeply provocative question to consider as this tech continues to evolve at lightning speed. When the stakes are truly life and death, when it's your scan on the monitor, who do you want making the final call? A flawless algorithm that only sees pixels, or a flawed but empathetic human who actually sees you? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer today. Keep questioning the world around you, and I'll catch you next time.